If someone told me that, I would regard the remark with a great deal of skepticism. If that someone was you, on the other hand, then I would have to ask preemptively, blah blah blah. I'll see what the word on the street is all about. Was about it, in due time. For now, I should probably order a copy. I should probably order a copy of Meeting for Assholes. It would be a shame if I were late with John's present. Dave, get Katana! You capture log your Katana and prepare to venture out into the apartment to retrieve your bro's copy of the game. But first, maybe, just maybe. Dude, that bird is long gone. Probably won't last long in this heat anyway. You honestly, you don't even know what's up with this sick heat. The sun threatens to set, but won't step off. It's staring you down like the big red eye of a hot needle skipping on a groove it's tracing around the earth. While lingering in midair, its heat seems to suspend time itself, stretching it like warped vinyl. It's meant to rain this season, but there ain't been a drop in sight. Even a little drizzle would help. Might help to fizzle this sizzle a little bizzle. Set the record straight on this global turn tizzle. So don't change the dizzle. Turn it up a little. I got a living room full of fine dime brizzles. Waiting on the pizzle, the dizzle and the shizzle. G's to the bizac. Now ladies, here we gizzo. Now in the pimps in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. English romantic poet, John Keats. I think Twitch died? No, my internet's just being a butt. Dave, exit your room and go into the living room. Sorry, little dude, coming through. Gotta put you down for a bit. You figure you left him hanging long enough. Dave, hastily enter the room with wild abandon. You barge in and see a familiar face. A friendly face. You stand in the living room. Your bro spends most of his days in here. At night, he crashes on the futon over there. You don't see him anywhere, though. There's the puppet chest he stores little Cal in when he takes him out on gigs, but when he's home, he usually leaves Cal on display somewhere. And with good reason, because Cal is totally sweet. So sweet, man. It's your brother's Mr. T puppet, which of course is kept in the apartment with a sense of profound, humorous irony. But as usual with your bro's exploits, this is no ordinary irony or anything close to pedestrian tier 1 ironic gesture, which is a meager single step removed from sincerity. This is like 10 levels of irony removed from the original joke. It might have been funny like 8 years ago to joke about Mr. T and how he was sort of lame, but that was the very thing that made him awesome and badass, and that his awesomeness was also sort of the joke. But in this case, the joke is the joke, and that degree of irony itself is also the joke, and so on. Only highly satirical ninjas like you and your bro can appreciate stuff like this. It's cool taking stuff that other people think is funny but you know really isn't, and making it funny again by adding subtle strata of irony which are utterly undetectable to the untrained eye. Also, for good measure, Mr. T is wearing a leather thong and handcuffed to a pantsless Chuck Norris puppet. God, you hope you can be as good as your bro at this someday. You'll never tell him that, though. Find little Cal and give fist bumps. Cal's nowhere in sight. All you see is a bunch of your bro's weird nude Muppet puppets strewn about haphazardly. Yes, these things are kind of cool, sort of. Dave, play a game on the Xbox. It looks like your bro was playing. It's not like him to leave in the middle of some totally intense gaming. Not like him to misplace Cal, either. Man, you hope the little guy's alright. Oh, there you are, dude. Didn't see you there. You be chill today, Cal? Yeah, you better fucking believe you be chill. Cal is the man. Was this greater to play Bro's Xbox? You fail to resist the urge. You start thrashing up stunts against something uncanny brutal on your quest for mad snacks, yo, and get this wave root hunger under control. Shit is basically flying off the hook. It's like shit wants nothing to do with that hook. The hook is dead to that shit. But you get stuck in some poorly modeled 3D fixture or something, like a railing or a piece of the wall, you'll have to reset. Fuck this shit. Give little Cal a bro fist bump. Aw man, you almost forgot. Gotta give the C-Man some props. Check out your bro's sweet gear. Your bro has so much sweet gear, it's hard to keep up with it all sometimes. Here's his computer set up. He's usually got a lot of stuff cooking on here at any given moment. Since he's not around, you might as well sneak a peek. Dave, look at your brother's computer. Oh, hell nah! Your bro's computer is password protected, of course, to protect all the incredible top secret shit he's got on the burners. Of course, you both know what the you know what the password is, and he knows you know it, and you're both cool with that because the password is the most awesome thing it can be. You enter the password. On the desktop, there's a hodgepodge of unnamed folders to store all the stuff he's working on. No one can decipher his organization but him. He also tends to use the application Complete Bullshit to keep up with the ludicrous amount of websites and news feeds he monitors to stay hip to the scene. Open Complete Bullshit. This is complete bullshit. Check if Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff has a sweet update. Your bro keeps up with your projects in his aggregator, just like you keep up with his. He's tuned into your various blogs, and of course, Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff. You navigate to the latest comic in one of the many bullshit feed bands. Mouse over the orange stripe containing plush rub. Another of your bro's many ironic websites. The difference here is he rakes in thousands of dollars a month through this enterprise. Smuppets are a multi-billion-dollar-a-year enterprise, and it's awfully hard to resist taking a firm squeeze from the plump udder of that cash cow. Dave, stop wasting time and look for Bros Beta. You guess you've messed around on his computer long enough. Better get a move on before it's too late for Rose, or worse yet, your bro catches you. But my god, the rumps, they are transfixing. You know, this is ironic and all, and your bro reaches echelons of irony you could only dream of daring to fathom. But on rare occasions when your guard is down, it all seems just a tad unsettling to you. Oh, hey there, Cal. Give little Cal a nervous fist bump. You're sort of starting to flip the fuck out, without losing your cool, of course. Pester John to ease your nerves. You get Egbert on the line again to give him the lowdown on your progress. You feel it's important to keep the wires hot, but he's not answering. You wonder what the guy is up to. Hey, what is up? What happened with the monster that is totally definitely in your room? Did you kill it? Where are you, man? Anyway, things are cool here. Totally cool. Puppets are still awesome. No problems with them or anything. Like, just really, really awesome. Looks like Rose is finally logged in again. Didn't John say your house was burning down? You wonder if she's on fire yet or what. Oh, there you are. We did this. Oh, there you are. John said your house was burning down. Are you on fire yet or what? No. For now, I have retired to the safety of a smaller building, which is much closer to the forest fire, threatening my residence. Oh, well, that's a relief. John told me to get the game, but I help you out of there, so now I'm working on that. Working on it? Yeah, my bro's copy, long story. Don't tell John this, but I think he might have been right about the puppets. The started sorting to freak me out a little bit. You're referring to your brother's collection. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still think it's cool and all. The semi-ironic puppet thing or whatever, or semi-ironic. Man, I don't even know. I'm just starting to think that some of this shit is going a little far, and it's kind of fucked up. I've seen his website. I like them. Haha, yeah, well, you would. Oh man, I wish Lil Cal wouldn't look at me like that with those dead eyes. Jesus. Sometimes I dream that he's real and he's talking to me, and I wake up in a cold sweat and basically flip the fuck out. Interesting. Oh god, why did I just tell you my dreams? You can have a field day with that. I am currently scrawling notes furiously into one of the many psychoanalysis journals I maintain for you. Published papers forthcoming. Because, you know, it's not like either of us have anything better to do at the moment than evaluate each other's radically debilitating pathologies. Yeah, I'm gonna get moving. Oh, have you heard from John? He's not answering me. He won't answer me either, but I am watching him. I suspect he is preoccupied with the fact that he just had a bucket of water dumped on his head by the ghost of his dead grandmother, who also happens to be dressed like a clown. Haha, I'll write him out. Later. Seconds in the future, but not many. John, what are you doing? Snap out of it. We ought to discuss what your grandmother told you, don't you think? Fine. Enjoy your stupor. I'll go about my business elsewhere. Deploy the punch to Zynex. John, whenever you read this, you should know I put the shield you collected to use, and finally deployed the punch to Zynex. It is in your study. I can only drop it though. You'll have to be the one to mess around with it and see what it does. When you're finished with your weird histrionics, maybe you could give me a try. I'm updating my walkthrough, and it would help to know what it does. Also, I should probably warn you that your house and yard are completely infested with monsters now. Try to be careful. So I can see. Stupid lousy imps, they're mucking up all my cool stuff. Oh, there you are. Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm not sure what came over me there. I was acting really crazy for some reason, but my head feels like it's clearing up. I think I'm alright now. Rebuild the claw hammer and return it to Specibus. You're getting way better at this sort of thing. Confront Pogo Ride to prepare yourself for Nana. Thank God your sanity has returned to you so you can entertain extremely rational, coherent thoughts like this one. You examine the Pogo Ride from your bathroom window. You do not like what you see. Click Giddy Up. Use arrow keys to operate Pogo Ride. Go for insane combos. Skip. Whee! Those sons of bitches! No one risks painful injury on your green slime ghost Pogo Ride. No one but you. Bro, strap something heavy on one of those imps. Bro, my piano! Sorry, no nuance to those controls at all. I was hoping to bludgeon the imp without letting go of it. Guess I can't really do that. A broken piano isn't the end of the world, though. I guess you're right. You'll need to pick up the spoils in person. I can't interact with the grist. So that means I have to go out the back door? Yes, is there a problem? Well, it may sound dumb, but I was hoping to avoid Nana and her spooky ghost cookies. You're right, that does sound dumb. Can you see her in the kitchen? What's she doing? Is she baking? You could say that. Are you sure you can't get that grist up to me somehow? Maybe. Use Pogo Ride to fling grist through window. Doesn't look like that grist is going anywhere. You just never know with these gaming abstractions. Drop Pogo Ride in John's bathroom. Get grist. There you go. Now why don't you check out that design mix? You can do that while I get to work. On what? Piano. Level up for slaying the imp. The piano, in its valiant effort, has unfortunately been slain. But if it hadn't, it would have raked in so many boon dollars, you have no idea. So many. Nana said to build, so that's what I'm doing. Oh yeah, okay. If this sure is going to take a lot of grist, looks like you're going to be busy, John. Blah! Well, what are you building? Stairs. They're fairly expensive, actually. Oh man, I could have warned you about stairs, Rose. I was trying to be recouping some of the grist from the capital I did earlier. It keeps happening! Good. It looks like I can get a refund for earlier allocations. I told you, Rose. I told you, Rose! I told you about stairs! Okay. Consider me fully briefed on the matter of stairs. Now, if you don't mind, it's hard enough to concentrate on this without immersing ourselves in Stratus 1's secretary. Did you know he thinks puppets are cool? Does he? He's so dumb! Rose, use build grist to construct observation tower on you. Okay, you obviously don't have enough grist yet for something that ambitious. But you can get started with something of a foundation for upward construction, at least. Check cabinets for imps or useful items. No imps in here. Just a lot of shaving cream. Dads love shaving. It's basically all they do. When they're not baking, that is. John, bring 2 cans of shaving cream. You capsule log 2 cans of shaving cream just in case. You never know when you'll need to bust out a hilarious shaving cream Santa beard to ratchet up your prankster's gambit. Your telescope goes flying out the window. It's a little cramped in here for any sort of proper reckless pogoing. You'll just grab it and hang on to it until the right moment presents itself. The towel floats back down to the rack. The circle of stupidity is complete. Rose, check up on Anakin, see what she's cooking. John, make your way to the study. Make your way to the study. It looks like the imps have taken a shining to the Crux Truder. Cruxite and black goo. Everywhere! Ride Slimer Pogo and one-up that imp. Well, it's not a Slimer Pogo, but you mount it anyway and brandish your deadly armaments. Right, just eat to victory! Okay, that's kind of delightful. This is incredibly dangerous. John, flip the fuck out. Let's see how they like the old double barrel leather blaster. Whoops, oh shit! Mr. John, respectfully ask that you please stand up. Don't move or the pogo gets it. Ah! Now, sir boy, flee from this boorish rabble post haste. Refrigerator. Level up for slaying the imp. The refrigerator skyrockets up the edge ladder to a new rung. 5-star General Electric and earns 285 boon dollars. Things are really looking up for this feisty appliance. Well done, John. Polite congratulations. For some reason, you feel a sense of positive reinforcement. Wherever that feeling is coming from, it sure is a nice welcome change from your erratic moods earlier. Now, my civil fellow, I have a well-mannered query to ask. I flocked to the entrance to the study to give you more space, to give you some space to work with the designings. John, who's behind you? Should I take care of it? You trapped your PDA again, didn't you? Why did you have to pick up all that stupid shaving cream? So pointless. Rose, drop something heavy on those imps. John, might I bother you for a can opener? Oblivious to the commotion behind you, suddenly you find yourself pondering the whereabouts of a can opener. You think there is probably one in the kitchen, but the path is blocked by your refrigerator. John is completely unresponsive. What the hell is that nincompoop doing? Years in the future. But let's not get totally carried away here. A studious eye darts about a page like a honeybee gathering the nectar of wisdom. Typical human. Please, thank you. You are welcome. Good day. How do you do? Splendid and you. Gratification. Further courtesy. Favor is usually curried. Rip. Munch, munch, munch. Rip. Munch, munch, munch. So he eats it. Oh no. Not my shit. Control W. And here's some pictures. Construct loft to get above John's room. Cool. That does seem to be a bit cheaper than stairs. Yes, it seems so. The opener dilemma remains unsettled, most unfortunately. It is unfortunate, I guess. What were we talking about again? But it has been a pleasure nonetheless. Thank you for the courtesy. It's not really necessary, but thanks anyway. No, but thank you. Okay. Thank you so very, very much to your favorable small primate. Okay. I shall take my leave now, John. Until next time. Hey, where did all this sweet loot come from? And why is there suddenly a crumpled hat on your head? Gather grist, examine Designix. Feeling especially economical with your behavior, but suddenly, you scoop up all the grist in the room and turn your attention to the Punch Designix all in one fell swoop. The device features a countertop station designed with a keyboard setup not unlike an old-fashioned computer. There's a blinking red light and a diagram etched into a panel. Rose, answer Dave. Okay, wait, hold on. Why am I getting this stupid game for you? You're the one who should be wrist-deep puppet ass. It's the specific problem. The problem is I'm up to my goddamn neck in fucking puppet dong. You know you like the mannequin dick. Accept it. I'm enrobed in chafing, wriggling, god-fucking damn puppet pelvis. An obscenely long, coarse kermit cock is being dragged along my anguished face. Let's put this into perspective. You put up with the puppet prostate because you love it. Also, coarse is a good word. You don't seem to harbor any sympathy for the fact that I've been burrowed fuck deep in a lively, fluffy muppet buttock. I'm whirling in the terrible cyclone at the epicenter of my own personal holocaust of twitching foam noses. It's like a fucking apocalypse of perky proboscis here. Like the proboscalypse, I guess. Are you going to start rapping about this? What? What? No. No, listen. Prong of flesh bereft of home, pound solace twixt a cleft of foam. Oh no, Jesus! Of apocalypse your thoughts eclipses. A painted pair of parted lips. Of apocalypse your thoughts eclipse. A painted pair of parted lips that dared through kiss to stir the air that teases tufts of orange hair. And though faces flush in lovers' fits, hands snug and plush as gloves befit. Okay, Dickinson, if you can shut your perfumey trap for a half second, this is serious. I am just saying, if I see one more soft, bulbous bottom being like kind of just jutting out and impudent or whatever, I'm gonna fly off the handle. I'm gonna do some sort of acrobatic fucking pirouette off the handle and win like a medal or some shit. Then let's hope there will be a squishy derriere somewhere below the handle to break your fall. You flip over the top card, continuing your pogo ride. Anytime you capture log something, a new code appears on the back of the card. You've always wondered what the code was for. Damn, these things were hard to read. But then, we've never really found any reason to decipher them. Until now, perhaps. Examine reverse side of hammer card and a stripes specialist. Look like card from your stripes specialist have codes too. Enter capture code as seen on back of Pogo Ride card. You enter the code Jalek into the keyboard. At least you think that's what the code is. The red light switches off. A green light begins blinking. Insert card. Type in the 7 and 6B. In the interest of due diligence, you enter the other code and repeat the process with that card too. Both cards are now punched with different hole patterns. Attempt to retrieve Pogo from card. Oh well, that looks like it should be a simple matter of... Uh-oh. It looks like it's trapped now. You don't see how you can access the item anymore, or store a new item there for that matter. These cards are pretty much useless now, and the items they contain are toast. But maybe all is not lost. Recalling from your experience with the pre-punched card, you may be able to use the cards to replicate the items in question. Assuming you got the codes right, that is. Mash keys heedlessly. Not quite through with your cowboy empiricism just yet. You mash at the keyboard to generate a random code. You enter the design ink stops you after 8 characters, which seems to be the maximum length for a code. The green light goes on, signaling its readiness for a card. You figure you might as well burn the shaving cream since the product is not exactly at a premium in your household. You also figure you might be able to merge the two cans. You might as well merge the two cans onto one card. You're a little sad that your dad isn't around this. You have a feeling he would get a real kick out of the idea of duplicating more shaving cream. You punch the card that is with a pattern that is no way related to the code for the item it contains. This should make for an interesting experiment. Mad science is a lot of fun. Unfortunately, you just burned another card in the process. Your deck is really dwindling now. Maybe you should have thought this through a little better. On the plus side, you just freed up your PDA, which is overflowing with the pent-up chatter of anxious pesterers. John, answer your chums. Look at all that grist. Puppets. Awesome. That's really all there... puppets. Awesome. That's really all there is to say on the matter. TG changes mood to rancorous. John, I'm about to throw a bathtub through your wall. Watch out. Wow. That was so totally unnecessary. I need a shortcut upstairs. I thought it would be a good idea to get up there as soon as possible. Also, you weren't being terribly responsive. You mean these stairs? Man, look at these shitty stairs. They're so narrow. I'm supposed to climb those. I'm supposed to climb those? They're perfectly navigable. I'm saving on grist for now. And if you keep slaying foes, collecting grist, and expanding the cash limit, we may not need to be so economical with our resources in the future. So why didn't you just build a way up through that hole into my dad's room? Have you ever been in there? No. Exactly. Huh? I'd rather not get sidetracked. I'm more interested in further exploring the mechanics of the game than watching you discover what sort of outlandish harlequin decor your father keeps in his room. Oh, come on, what's the big deal? I'll just climb up and go right through. Will you? Yeah, why not? Are you saying you've never wondered what's in there, or why it's been kept a secret from you? Well, I mean, yeah. Then trust me, you won't be going right on through. Wait, are you saying there's, something, troubling in there? I don't know. What do you mean? What do you see in there? I can't see in there. Oh. But I don't have a very good feeling about it. Pfft, whatever. Maybe I can handle a few more stupid clown paintings. Drag some Cruxite dowels up to John's room. Collect grist. John, collect grist, examine safe. You swoop up the bountiful copy and supply of grist generated by your co-player's recent exploits. From now on, it will probably go out without saying that you'll have any grist lying around without making a big fuss over it. You check out the busted safe, which has made a noble sacrifice in battle. Some of your father's odds and ends have spilled out, including some old newspaper clippings and 2 rather hefty tomes. There's a fair bet that these books comprise at least half the weight of the safe. Examine the family tome of humor. It's another copy of Colonel Sassacre's daunting text of magical frivolity and practical japery. This one looks really old, perhaps an original printing. Could it be the same one involved with your grandmother's unfortunate accident on that fateful day? Dad would never speak a word about it, but maybe Nana wouldn't be so tight-lipped. You give it a cursory perusal. It seems to be similar to your reprinting, listing all the japes and chicanery you have come to now know and love. You capsulog it, thinking you may give it a closer look later. Examine contents of safe. The Fatherly Gent's Shaving Almanac. Take a look at the other book. You're sure Dad thought this was a scintillating read, but it looks pretty boring to you. Maybe you'll crack into it someday when you're old enough to shave. Everything in this safe was obviously very important to your father. You wonder why he kept it locked away from you. Some things about him you will never understand. It seems he's been collecting scraps from the news over the years. These articles go back decades. Look at the piece of paper tied to the wall. Son, if you are reading this, it means you are now strong enough to lift the safe. You are now a man. As such, you are entitled to what is inside. I know you will take this responsibility seriously. I am proud of you. No 24913. You guess this is the combination to the safe. This is completely useless. Examine back of capsulog card on floor. You think these are all zeros, or are they capital O's? Zeros would probably make more sense for an empty card. You can capsulog the card. Bye. Totem. Enter code on backup card into the Zynex. Punch card. Wait, John, before you punch that. Oh, I was about to say, if you first checked note of the code and then removed the card from the card, you could have punched the blank one. You would have only burned one card instead of two. Oh, you're right. Damn it. Throw hat down in disgust. Capsulog, punch, capsulog, capsulog card. Sweet catch. What? Take PA. The 2-card Solidex. Inventory of dumbasses. John, level up. Yay! Colonel Sassacre, level up for weighing in. The Colonel soars to new heights on his echelon, reaching the rung one-man julep vacuum and pockets $95.50 boon dollars. Chump change for the genteel, aristocratic Southern Colonel. Bathtub, level up for slaying the imp. The bathtub surges heroically and surpasses the rung. Archimedes' Aqua Cradle, proceeding directly to vaunted rung Taft Jammer. The tub makes off with a cool $490 boon dollars. The tub's basin capacity remains unaffected. Safe, level up. The safe was slain in battle. A great flaming nautical pirate carries it off to Valhalla. John, make your way up those stairs post-haste. You're not sure, but you've been assured the stairs are perfectly navigable. Lousy goddamn stupid stairs! Ignore little Cal and find the beta. You wander over to the place where your bro keeps his set of sweet turntable gear. Man, that setup is sweet. You feel pangs of jealousy whenever you walk by it. Really cool jealousy, like the kind where instead of getting all worked up about it, you don't actually give a shit. One of your brother's rad and extremely expensive ninja swords is missing, though. You know this drill all too well. Troubles a brewing. Take expensive ninja sword. What sword? Exit your bro's room. You approach the exit. There's something on the door you haven't seen before. Looks like one of your bro's ironic comics he left for you to check out. What have I done? Animal? Please start breathing. Oh god, please. Breathe. Okay, make-believe time is over. Oh god, 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 oh god. What will Nanny do to me if she finds out? No one can ever know. I have to hide the body, but where? Think, imagination. Oh, the one time I really need you. I want to play a game. Okay, some of this stuff you know he's just leaving around to get under your skin. This is obviously another ploy in his relentless siege of one-upsmanship to get your goat. The same goat you've been meaning to bleat like ironically, but that will still have to wait for a more appropriate time. You think he knows that deep down you feel like you're still not ironic enough to get stuff like this, and this is probably some weird gauntlet he's throwing down to see if you will get it. But honestly, you think this material is just a little too ironic. You don't need to see this. You just don't need to see this shit right now. No sign of bro in here either. Well, aside from the absurd quantity of awesome, dangerous stuff he leaves lying around. Transfer katana to strike specialist. With an escalating sense of threat, you think it's time you shift your katana to your specialist. You figure it's better to free up the card anyway, since you might need to grab some of this stuff. Set blender to mix. You guess bro stuck some fake blood capsules in that puppet. Pretty gross. You spot one of your bro's uncanny many webcams nearby, recording the incident. It seems you may have just been an unwitting accessory to some sort of grisly puppet snuff film. You're not totally sure how you feel about that. Capture log Buster Sword from behind microwave. This might be the only thing in your whole apartment that's a bigger piece of shit than your own sword. You put it back behind the microwave where it belongs. Set blender to crush ice. It's just sort of bouncing around in there. You make a bit of a mess now. Hide evidence in microwave. See, like, his hobbies are cool and all, and you guess he's gotta put his shit somewhere. What if he just wanted to heat up a burrito or something? This kitchen is pretty much useless. Grab those fireworks. You capture log all the fireworks the sink has to offer. You just know these are gonna come in handy. Why would they be in the kitchen, in the sink if they weren't? Looks like one of them is still stuck in the garbage disposal. Capture log shurikens. You grab the shurikens, then... Hey, careful where you're putting stuff, especially if you're looking to turn your Solidex into a powder keg full of shark things. You put the box of fireworks back into card 5. I prepare to start or card 3 apparently. That settles that, you guess. Take nunchaku. You take the nunchaku, once again grabbing without thinking ahead. First, you capture log the box, 5. Again, while adeptly avoiding the shuriken trap, which you yourself set only moments ago. Do dodge. You again round up all the fireworks. Time to regroup here. Capture log each shuriken individually. You grab each shuriken at a time. You capture log each shuriken one at a time, knocking out those nunchaku. But no worries, you've got a plan. Capture log nunchucks. You take the nunchucks. Everything seems to be in order now. It would have been badass to go with the authentic Japanese names for each weapon, but sometimes you just gotta compromise with this weapon. Examine fetch modus. And you flip your fetch modus over and check out the back. You're not really sure where it is you're keeping these things. You're keeping this thing. Oh well, who cares? Press eject button. Oh hell no. Not after all the trouble you went through to get that stuff situated. This is potentially a very dangerous button. Dave, change the Scrabble points hash modus. First, you select program your modus with the Scrabble points hash function. Adding it to the list. A1, B3, C3. It's the sword for Scrabble. This might be a cool function to use, but it looks like you'll have to empty your Solidex to select it. You're just not going to do that yet. No way. Check the box to detect collisions. Okay, take the skateboard. And just what is this guy so happy about? What's he looking at up there? You think if you see one more soft bulbous bottom being like just kind of jutting out and impudent or whatever, you're going to fly off the handle. You take the skateboard. Actually, no you don't. A collision has been detected. You take the wheel ride. Man, your inventory's nomenclature is getting lamer by the minute. Capture log the unplugged power cord. You take the power cord. Wait, no, not gonna work. Think of a new word for power cord. You take the battery pack. Damn it, you take the battery pack using the Y as a consonant. Your Solidex reluctantly accepts. It's a tactic notoriously employed by Hashmap News, but you just don't care about that now. Besides, it's not like your bro is around to see. Search for some mad snacks, yo. Oh, it's just little Cal again. You can never stay mad at him. Anyway, you gotta get this way rude hunger under control. You figure you ought to scope the fridge for some grub. This hunger is so ill-mannered, it would make a room full of snooty dowagers commit mass suicide. Open refrigerator. Oh god, more shitty swords. Of course you knew these were in here. You're not even sure why you looked. If you want to keep any food or beverages in this apartment, you pretty much got no choice but to hide stuff away in your closet. Take swords. To hell with it. You try to take the entire jumble of unbelievably shitty swords and brace yourself for it. Looks like that works, actually. You capture the jumble of unbelievably shitty swords. Use ice maker. It's still hot around here. You dispense several cherry bombs. Wait, who's that looking at you in the reflection? Where'd that little dude scamper off to this time? Capture log cherry bombs. You go for the cherry bombs unsuccessfully. After mulling it over for a bit, you take the red spherical salutes. Take blender. Blender is a pretty simple word, and you can already tell it's not going to work. Instead, you take the whirling blade pitcher. That's really a much better name for it anyway, you think. Activate garbage disposal. Stuff Mr. Purple Guy down into the garbage disposal. You're not sure what he's so happy about, or what he's looking at up there. While you're at it, you dump the contents of the whirling blade pitcher into the disposal. But you suffer an unfortunate garbage disposal head jam. You notice something on the reflection, something above you. It's the hatch to the crawl space above your apartment. Bro's always tucking away in there when he's busting out his rad stealth stunts. He's so slick that the dangling cord never even jostles. You know he's being ironic with these weird mind games. There's no way anyone could be serious about aping those shitty movies. Use the turntables and cinder blocks to make a fort. It's a pretty sweet fort you made, and you're pretty sure your brother would agree. Under different circumstances, you might be high-fiving over it right now. But rather than get inside and take you for a spin, you really just need to use it to get up to that hatch. Dave yanked cord. It is time for you to face your destiny. No going back now. Get smuppeted. Oh. Yeah, there was pretty much no way there wasn't going to be a bunch of puppets in there. Okay, wait, hold on. Why am I getting this stupid game for you? You're the one who should be wrist deep in puppet ass. What is the specific problem? We did this. Read the note on the bench. Bro, roof, now, bring Cal. We're doing it, man. We're making this happen. We're making this happen. Happen. Burst out of the puppet pile like the one. Dave, be the other guy. You are now the other guy. John, take dowels and sheets from bed and make a tent. This is so much fun. A huge waste of time, yes, but so much fun. John, carve a totem of the punched pogo card. You put the punched card containing the pogo ride in this slot and carve a totem from one of the Cruxite dowels. Repeat process with other cards and dowels. You use the card containing the code for the hammer, as well as the one with the random code you punched over the shaving cream card for the hell of it. You carve the respective totems for the cards. Do the same thing with the capsulog card. You make a totem for a capsulog card. Pretty bare bones looking totem, if you ask me. If you ask you. You stow the totems in your Athenium rows. Produce capsulog card. The alchemitter requires 1 unit of any type of grist to produce 1 card. You decide to use shale since it seems less generally useful than build grist as of now. Make a whole bunch of them. Oh, did you just make all these? Yes, sweet, thanks. What did you do with all the blue wobbly looking base things? I brought the totems out to the alchemitter to test them. I'm taking some things into my own hands to save some time. Okay. You create a hammer at the expense of 2 units of build grist. You make a pogo ride too. -5 build, 1 shale. Use the totem carved with the random code. You create a rocket pack with some random crap stuck inside it. Looks like a cinder block, a violin, and a flower pot. The random items have rendered the device totally inoperable. I figure you might as well put this piece of junk to use. Collect cards. Using a little strategy, first you grab Harry Anderson's Wise Guy by Mike Cavany, then the cards, then your ejected deck, your PDA, then the book again to flush the cards into your deck. Nice going. Turn on Detect Collisions. You flip your fetch mode die, but find no such option. This is idiotic. Read book. Be the wise guy. New Orleans. 1977. The close-up room at the Magic Castle was a small little box that tended to fill up with so much smoke you'd swear someone was creating a wet dog in there. In walks Anderson. There isn't much that Kit's liquor deposits journey from the table to my lips, but I'll be the bastard love child of a listless octoroon if that kid wasn't the cat that swallowed the canary in a dapple little hat. It looked like he was testing the tensile strength of the suspenders to the damn near limit with a pair of cocky thumbs. I wasn't impressed, but I was a fool. He never really understood what Cavany's relation to Anderson was, or why he wrote this book about him. His ambivalent attitude towards your favorite magician and these anecdotes always struck you as a little weird. And to be honest, you tend not to read them much of the text in the book. You mostly like to look at the diagrams for all the cool tricks. So yeah, that's right, the old hole in the ace trick, interestingly enough, pertaining to punching holes in cards and making them disappear and stuff. Your hands were never really strong enough to make this one work all that well either. But actually, this gives you an idea. You overlap two of the punch cards. They mask each other's hole patterns. Put both cards in totem length. You carve another totem using the combined hole pattern. Take it to the alchemitter. Oh man, looks like Rose made a million hammers for some reason. Got all this shit out of the way. You're gonna have to make something sweet. Yeah. You got the pogo hammer. Practice with new weapon. Boing, 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 boing. What did you do? I combined the cards in the lathe thingy and made this. It is so sweet, man. Look at me go. I see. That was a really good idea, John. Nice work. Thanks. I got the idea from Harry Anderson. Who? You know the show Night Court? No. Oh, well, bottom line is he's awesome. That's really all there is to say on the matter. Attack the nearest imp to test Pogo Hammer's strength. You get a vicious, rhythmic bouncing combo going and easily slay the imp in one blow. You and the Pogo Rider catapulted sky high in the process. Bonk. Aw, sweet catch. It's looking like a pretty big boy. Rose, Pester John. Hey, that was a pretty nice catch. Nice sweet catch. Sweet catch. Save. Oh, yeah, that. This is pretty comfy. Why don't you just like carry the bed around with me on it up to the gate up there? I can't interact with you directly or anything that you are touching if it will result in moving you. See? Oh, lame. The game probably regards that as a kind of cheating, in a way thieving you of your free will as an adventurer and the need to advance by your own skill and ingenuity. The server player is just a facilitator. Well, okay. All that scurrying around kind of wore me out. I think I'm going to rest here for a bit. Rose? Could you keep the imps at bay, like drop some stuff on them if they sneak up too close? No, you should pick up your hammer and defend yourself. What? Come on! I have no idea what the hell Dave is up to, or if he's any closer to recovering the game. There's some stuff I'd like to try in case he doesn't come through. Oh, alright. I'm just gonna rest my eyes here a second, though. S. John, sleep. Oh, sleepy boy. Check alchemy excursus. Looks like a sort of index documenting all the known results for punch card alchemy combinations. This could be a convenient resource as you start to stumble on more useful card combinations. But ever since John started punching cards, he's been contemplating other ways this item manufacturing system could be put to use. In particular, if you obtain the code for any item at your disposal, you think you could theoretically send the code to John and he could make it himself. That is, if you can think of anything that would be worth sending to him. You eject the disk and capsulog the server CD. Oh, god damn it. S. John, wake up. Why are you streaming? Hey! Well, there you are. How's your adventure going, John? It's okay. I am making some progress, and Rose finally connected again, so she is helping me now. That's good. Oh, but I don't think I'm actually saving the world here. I don't know what I'm really accomplishing, but I guess it's not that. Well, I think whatever it is, it must be pretty important. Don't lose hope, John. I think it will all turn out for the best if you stay positive. Just keep listening to your grandmother's advice. Yeah, you're probably right. But, I don't think I mentioned Anna to you, did I? Oh, I don't know, didn't you? I don't know. Maybe you talked to Rose or Dave about it or something. Yeah, maybe that was it. They're really weird when they talk to me about you. Like, they're always trying to convince me you have some spooky powers, but I'm always like, no, she seems like a pretty regular girl to me. But then when I think back, maybe there are some times when it seems like you know some things. Like, maybe you know more about a thing than you were telling. I don't know. Oh, well, John, I want to explain a lot of things to you. Some things that I know, I'm just waiting. Waiting for what? Oh, John, I forgot I was messaging you about that meteor that fell near my house. Oh yeah, whatever happened with that? Oh boy, well, it turns out I was confused about it. Really confused. See, I guess I fell asleep for a while and lost track of time. That happens. Yeah, I know, tell me about it. Maybe you should, wear an alarm clock or something. So what was the deal with the meteor? Well, it's hard to explain, but I know what it is now, and I know everything's gonna be okay. So what is it? Or is this just another thing you're waiting to tell me? Oh gosh, John, I really want to tell you all this stuff, but I can't yet. I really think you need to wake up first. Huh? Okay, not literally. Well, okay, maybe kinda literally. Ah, stop being so confusing! Well, anyway, time for you to go, John. I think you have some company. Less than 3. Pogo Hammer. You stick the Pogo Hammer back in your strike specialist and get ready to kill some more of these pesky little... Huh? What's that? Ugh. Rose, why aren't you dropping something on that thing? Oh no! You be the imp and quickly abscond the fuck out of here. This is what weaker adversaries do when things get too hard to handle, which is frequently. John, prepare for a boss battle. You stop being the imp because that was stupid and scurry over to your magic chest you remember was on the roof. There are some things in here that would be good to stock up on for a major battle. But it looks like someone has plundered your chest. This is so outrageous! Do, 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 do. You are being ambushed. There isn't much room to maneuver on this sloping roof. Maybe you should consider making your way to higher ground. John, ascend to the highest point of the house. You go up here. Look down. You peek over the edge. It already seems like a long way down to your yard, not even to speak of whatever's below. Hey, weren't your trick handcuffs dangling from that branch earlier? Damn it, why do imps gotta be making off with all your sweet gear? You were confronted with a pair of enormous foes. This is it. You have no choice but to wage a fierce rooftop battle. This is totally gonna happen now, and could in no way conceivably be interrupted by a sudden shift in our attention. It's go time. It's time to do this thing. We're doing it, man. We're making this happen. Dave, stop being the other guy. Stop being the other guy. You're not even sure what that meant anyway. Dave, ascend to the highest point of the building. Bro, roof. Now, we're making this happen. Do, 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 do. So cool. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Psych. Oh, wait. ×2 double psych out combo. You are now the Wayward Vagabond. Wayward Vagabond, retreat. Got him already. Examine rotten pumpkin. What pumpkin? Check the little red bar. Seems to be a gauge for a large power cell. Perhaps fueled by some type of nuclear reaction. If this is the case, it is relatively low on fuel. But who knows how long it has been running here. You do not care about this sort of nonsense, and you will disregard it at once. You are very hungry. Capsulog can of gravy. Capsulog? You have no idea what that means. It is total nonsense, and you do not know what to make of it. You will not give the foolish notion a second thought. Pick up the can of gravy. Just pick it up. You just pick it up. You are now holding the can of gravy. Use sharp teeth to poke a hole in the lid of the can. Your teeth are useless for the task. They are blunt like that of livestock, presumably suitable for mashing up plant matter, and not for puncturing metal. Attempt to open can with your weak, pathetic digits. Your weak, pathetic digits are not strong enough to penetrate the can. Your fingers are certainly pointy enough, and your black carapace is suitably rigid, but you just don't have enough muscle for the task. Take the can, you little beans. Okay, you take that too. Examine can of custard. The can clearly reads mustard, the fact of which you were perfectly well aware. It is sort of cumbersome holding it all these cans at once. You doubt you can hold many more than this, maybe one or two. You need to find something to put stuff in if you want to carry a lot of things around. Examine marking on wrist. You drop all the cans and take a look at your wrist. It is a sort of specialized barcode pattern. This brings back unpleasant memories and you prefer not to dwell on it. Wayward Vagabond, examine the small potted plant. What plant? Checkbook on human etiquette. It appears half the pages of this book has been eaten. The daunting volume is considerably lighter than it once was. You are somewhat skeptical about the nutritional value contained by these pages. However, of the practical wisdom they contain, there can be little doubt. You have learned so much. Clear out all the cans inside the purple machine. You empty the peculiar cabinet and take a quick inventory of your canned goods. You have beans, mustard, gravy, bread, shrimp, asparagus, cheese, rice, corn, peas, flour, chestnuts, mayo, ham, potatoes, and squash. Such bountiful plenty. and yet the delights taunt you from within their small metal prisons. Search room for can opener. You've already looked all over the place for a can opener, even making a few electronic inquiries about one to no avail. Nothing inside the purple thing either. Locate a nearby sharp object. You wield your trusty knife. It is actually a... You're not sure what they're called. It's an old rusted one of those red mailbox arm swing flappy doodads, either for letting you know there's mail in the box, or maybe for alerting the mailman to outgoing mail to be collected. You don't know, really. You've wrapped a little piece of cloth around it for the grip. It is useless for opening cans, be the imp. This means nothing to you. You are not an imp. You have no idea what an imp is, and you will not entertain such frivolous and childish ideas ever again. You feel stupid and hate yourself a little for even considering it. As the glorious founder and mayor of Cantown, you erect a dignified, majestic city hall out of cans, fittingly capped off with a tome of good manners for the roof. You have given yourself a very official and important-looking mayoral sash made out of old cables to complete your look of authority. A number of rather civic-minded citizen cans gather in front of the building to offer adulation to their fair and magnanimous leader. All is well. You immerse yourself in this beautiful dream as you whittle away the minutes, or perhaps hours. You love the idea of being a mayor. You love everything about mayors, and the concept of an orderly civil democracy. It all seems so manly and reasonable to you. Everyone is friendly and happy, and the city runs like clockwork. The foundation of the government is based on mutual respect between the leader and its people. It is also built on having a really great mayor that everyone loves, who is totally amazing and heroic and brave. Mayors are so much better than kings. You hate kings and you think kings are really stupid. They are petty, bossy tyrants and are really full of themselves and are basically awful in every way. God, do you hate kings. Explore west of Cantown. Over here is the other side of the room. There's another one of those purple storage boxes and some useless objects scattered on the floor. Use glowing green rock to open cans. You pick up the nugget of uranium and... Oh, that was so stupid. Why would you do that? It's chalk, numbnuts. Inside the box, there are 12 pieces of chalk in every color of the 10 pieces of chalk, in most colors of the rainbow. You are excited by this. Try to open the storage box. It's locked. There must be some sort of release mechanism for this thing. Examine contents of yellow container. The container is full of motor oil. This does not seem useful to you right now. Rescue that poor lightning bug. There is nothing you can do for this new little friend. Attempting to crush the amber encasing the firefly would likely cause it harm. It nevertheless bravely flashes on. You find its light alluring, inspiring. To you, it seems as if it could quite easily serve as the light of democracy. Use the chalk to draw some roads. You sketch a handsome network of sprawling thoroughfares for your citizens to traverse. The adoring population applauds its mayor's keen instincts for city planning. You even add some lush vegetation to your city with a piece of blue chalk because you can't seem to find a suitable color for a more suitable color for some reason. Lay a chalk foundation for Cantown's civic growth. You develop westward, settling those fertile plains and claiming them for your city. You section off a number of residential and commercial zones for civic growth, arranged in the only logical pattern that occurs to you. You color the residential zones with your white chalk, but for some reason none of the colors on the box strike you as suitable for commercial zones. Perhaps there's an alternative. Use your own pee for the commercial zones. You cannot urinate because you've not had anything to drink in some time. You're very thirsty. Also, that is a really terrible idea, and you would not consider befouling your wonderful city in that way for even a moment. Use motor oil to designate commercial zones. You fill each empty square with a bit of motor oil to complete the zoning. It looks rather striking to you. You can hardly imagine that an up-and-coming young can trying to make it in the world would not be delighted to live in your fair district. You are very careful not to get any of the unpleasant fluid on your person. Peel label from can of mayo and affix to the sash. Survey surroundings in search of more terrain for city. It seems you have run out of territory for your western expansion, but there is still a lot of empty wall space. Perhaps your citizens would be happier with a colorful backdrop that would make them feel more at home. Using most of your imagination and an entire piece of sky blue chalk, you render a bright and cheerful sky full of clouds. You have decided that very closely orbiting your city is a luminous planet about which orbits a single moon. You switch to another shade of blue and continue rendering on the western wall. Orbiting much further from your city are 4 planets. None of these have satellites, you have decided. Yes, that makes sense, you think. And on the southern wall, beyond an impenetrable veil of darkness, occupying the furthest orbit yet, there is an ominous planet. A moon circles this one too. Check that rampaging boy on the screen. Oh yes, it's that guy. You had almost forgotten about him and his confusing shenanigans. It seems like he has things well in hand at the moment. He does not appear to need your help, and you've already concluded that he cannot help you, at least for the time being. Turn on the other 3 screens. You have no idea how to turn them on. There's no mouse for this weird quadro-monitor computer. It can only be operated through text commands from its keyboard. Perhaps there is a special key or command which will allow you to switch to another monitor. Press tab. Consume several cans. You free the heavenly brown elixir from the jewels of pink carapace and imbibe it like the wind. It is so sweet and sugary. You wonder how so much sugar can fit in one can. Whatever mighty wizard concocted this potion is truly deserving of your fear and respect. Welcome the rest into the city. The tabs are naturalized as new loyal citizens of Cantown. All cans are welcome and equal in your city, regardless of can content and whether empty or full. It's not like emptying a can kills it or anything. They're just cans after all. Hit escape. Feeling refreshed and heavily caffeinated, you go back to work on the big computer. You hit escape, which seems to minimize the action window thingy and reveals the history of all the commands you've entered. You use the arrow key to scroll up a bit. You can't believe how much you've already typed into this stupid contraption. What a waste of time. You scroll all the way up to your first command. It looks like there are more commands above it. Maybe someone was entering commands on this thing before you. There aren't many more. At the top of this list appears to be the very first command. Type switch 2. You activate screen 2. The screen is the signal is garbled and you have no idea what you're looking at. Some sort of filthy beggar begging for help or pleading for help? No one is around and nothing is happening. You seem to be locked out of any sort of interaction with whatever's happening on this monitor. Type switch 3. It's another one of those rapscallions. This monitor is locked too. You can't tell him what to do. Not that you really want to, since it just looks like more confusing nonsense to you. You consider switching to screen 4, but decide against it. You have a feeling that whatever's there would just confuse you even more, and you don't even really care all that much anyway. Type on. All 4 screens activate. Together, they display a countdown, starting at 4 hours and 13 minutes. Type reboot. You can't. Nothing is working anymore. The timer seems to have disabled the keyboard. Enough of this nonsense. You're an important mayor, then this absurd contraption has wasted enough of your time. You've got a city to govern with a carapaced fist, which is to say firm yet polished and supple as the situation demands. Anyway, this will help you kill some time while you wait for that clock to count down. Create employment opportunities for the citizen cans. You temporarily dismantle City Hall to free up all the can power available to create a vigilant town militia. You divide them into 2 groups, marking them with distinct teams and ranks and pieces using white chalk and the motor oil. You then organize them in phalanx across the countryside, preparing for a stiff training program. When you're through with them, your forces will be a well-oiled machine. Chalk another one up to bold leadership. Lead your men to victory. Aww. I love you, Mayor. Okay. More than the loss of Citizen Tab. You waste more than 4 hours on this tomfoolery. Your caffeinated jittering must have agitated all the little bubbles curiously hidden in the liquid, creating too much pressure in the can. You speculate this is why it exploded as you nervously eye the timer. You're starting to wonder what will happen when it reaches 0. Perhaps it would be best not to be near it when it happens, minutes in the future. Though perhaps not as few as implied by circumstances. A peregrine mendicant. Trundles precious cargo beneath the gleam of the celestially ominous. Is that it? Go outside and get some sun. You say a bittersweet goodbye to your beloved city. It is time to move on to greener pastures, by which, of course, you mean an arid, sandy wasteland upon which nothing green has grown in years. The door shuts behind you. A panel on the door becomes illuminated. As you ponder over the marks on the panel, you hear another mechanical sound overhead. Clang. The LCD panel appears to have a touchscreen interface. Curiously proud the funny-looking spirograph. It appears the funny-looking spirograph room is locked. The floor rotates a full 360 degrees beneath you, while the surrounding wall seems to stay put. Select the triangular fractal. The triangular fractal room does not appear to be locked. The floor turns 120 degrees and the door opens. You go through the door to find another room. It's the same size as the other one you just wasted all that time in, while the clock was ticking down to something which may or may not be your doom. Maybe there is something in here that will help you escape. Against the wall, there's another perplexing contraption. Against the opposite wall is some sort of control panel which catches your eye. It has 2 large screens, but only one appears to be active. There are fields for numbers which appear to be modifiable with the dials to the right. Some numbers are already supplied by default, perhaps entered to by the previous user. There are a few buttons below, the largest one bearing the symbol marking this room. Also, it looks like there's a meter stick propped up there for some reason. Attach your trusty knife to the meter stick. You immediately craft a measuring sphere through perhaps the most advanced form of alchemy employed thus far. This is obviously the most important thing to do first, obviously. Or it would obviously be the most important thing to do if you remember to bring your trusty knife. You feel so insecure without your trusty knife, it makes you want to slit your wrists. Or at the very least, flog your carapace with some sort of measuring apparatus. Look at the other wall. You examine the perplexing contraption across the room. You, of course, have no idea what it could possibly do. You adopt the only obvious course of action, which is to poke and prod it with your handy ruler. You're quite sure this is what science is all about. Where's the triangle pattern? You go back to the control panel, which probably obviously controls that gizmo, and you push the big blue button, which is obviously probably the most obvious thing to push. You purify a pumpkin. Boop! Examine pumpkin. It appears this mysterious gourd was purified from a specific time and location somewhere on the planet you are on. You wonder if the machine, a purifier, will take any object that exists at whatever time and location you supply. There's a symbol carved on the pumpkin. You don't know what it means, and you doubt it will ever prove to be relevant in any way. Devour pumpkin. You consider dying on the ripe flesh of the plump vegetable, but your curiosity about the purifier gets the better of you. You try to sneak a nibble from the pumpkin regardless. Expect green buttons. You first examine the attractive green buttons. The icon for the one on the left is that house shape you've seen plenty of times before. The right one, on closer inspection, appears to be the map for this underground facility, with an X marking its center. Press green button on right. You push the button. All of the numbers change. Perhaps these are the coordinates for the location of the center of this facility, along with the local time and date. If this is the case, it would make a useful reference point for your current bearings. Fiddle with the dials. One way to find out would be to attempt to purify something from this facility. It should be easy to zero in on a location relative to the center because you have an uncanny knack for tracking precise distances you have already traveled. You've already traversed in whatever units you choose. Your handy ruler gives you a good clue as to the basic unit of human measurement. You will go with that. Purify your trusty knife. You nudge the coordinates very slightly and bump up the elevation by 0.5 human measurement units. You make sure to keep the time approximately what it was to begin with. You purify your trusty knife. A purify can down. You nudge the numbers a bit more and purify a bunch of cans. This is so much more efficient than walking back to the other room to get them. You are to believe that time is at a premium after all. You purify it. Does this machine look like a Dia-purifier to you? Honestly, the idea that a purify could both purify and Dia-purify things is so laughably ridiculous. You wish someone would Dia-purify your brain and Re-purify it with a brain that is more smart and less dumb. Use trusty knife to carve spook schema into pumpkin. What the hell are you talking about? That idea makes no sense at all and is basically meaningless. Try using that mushy stuff in your gourd next time. Instead, you just carve off the top, exploding a decadent cache of gorgeous seed Lasian ambrosia. Needless to say, you consume all of it rather quickly, but it turns out to be too gross for us to watch. Move spirograph switch. You cannot move it. It has a spirograph shaped indentation and possibly will require a special kind of key to turn it. A purify firefly out of the amber. You release your blinky new friend. You will soon give her a name when something suitably whimsical occurs to you. Adjust time dial to purify rotten pumpkin. You and Serenity consider new ways to waste more time with the purifier. You are assuming she's a girl firefly, even though you're not really sure that fireflies can even beat girls. You target the extremely tasty rotten pumpkin that was sitting in the other room hours ago. It seems the purifier cannot purify something if it will create a time paradox. A gelatinous ghost pumpkin purifies and quickly dissolves into a pile of unappetizing sludge. Purify the grate over the entrance to the facility. Serenity blinks a message of urgency. You nearly forgot that while trapped in amber, she was witness to all your tomfoolery and dilly-dallying in the other room, and knows the timer is about to expire. You reset the coordinates with the right green button again, and this time only adjust the elevation by approximately 10 human measurement units. Is this really necessary? This is incredibly silly. Oh wait. Unpsych. You attempt the rare and highly dangerous 5 times cliffhanger combo and fail. We are doing it, man. We are making this happen. my trash children. End of Act 2. Dear John, you are no doubt reading this as a handsome and strapping young man. Why, the man grit needed to lift the book is itself a sign of your maturity, not even to speak of the wisdom needed to grasp the nuance of Sassaker's time-tested mischief. I am so proud of you, grandson. How I wish I could have delivered this heirloom to you in the flesh, but I am afraid it wasn't in the cards. For you see, John, like you, this book must yet take a journey. Its journey will end on the final day of my life, and even then will continue some. Though I suppose that will be up to your father. Perhaps he will discuss it with you one day when he and you are ready. But it is your journey I am writing about to wish you luck. There will come a day when you will be thrust into another world, and once you arrive, that is only the beginning. We will soon delve even deeper into a realm of warring royalty in a timeless expanse, a realm of agents and exiles and consorts and colonel sprites, of toiling underlings and slumbering denizens. A realm where four will gather, the air of breath and seer of light, the night of time and witch of space, and together they will ascend. John, if only you knew how important you were. I regret my passing came so early in your life, and yet I feel in my heart we have already met. But what I know for sure is that we will meet again. Until then, John, I do hope your father keeps you well fed. Act 3. Okay, so I'm going to take a little break here. I'm going to switch over to Star Wars for a little bit, and we're going to pick this up again tomorrow. I hope you have enjoyed Homestuck. I'll be back in like probably 5-10 minutes with a different game. Resurrection. Hey, low tie girl, what's up, boo? I'm done reading the comic, so I'm gonna switch this over for a little bit. I'm actually gonna cut the stream. Yeah. So I'm gonna start the stream, I'm gonna start over and stuff like. I'll be back in like 5 minutes.